Hello. Today is Sunday, April 19th, 2020, at about 20 minutes to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Weather today is pretty cloudy, mostly cloudy. There was some sun here and there today, but mostly pretty cloudy. It is warm though. It's about 60 degrees, maybe high 50s, 57, 58, around there, but give or take a couple degrees. Much better weather today than yesterday. Yesterday was cold and overcast and windy all day. The bees were not really out and about yesterday, but today they are very much out and about. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to get into this hive right there, and I'm going to see if they have made some lovely queen cells. It has now been 11 days since I went in there and took frames from this big hive over here. I took eggs and young brood and capped brood and stores and all kinds of good stuff and made a little split here, a 10 frame split. And this is my queen castle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in here, and I have a couple things. I have these little separator boards here. It's a queen castle, and it's very simple. All I'm going to do is open up this box and take a peek inside, see if they have queen cells. If they do, if they have queen cells on the 2 frames, I believe I had 2 frames of eggs and young larvae, maybe 3, I can't remember. But at least 2 for sure. And what I'm going to do is get in there and just separate them, one from the other. And if I have 3, then I can put a queen cell, queen cell, queen cell into 3, basically 3 frame nukes in there, which is why there's the 3, it's got the 3 entrances there. So that's what the plan is. At a minimum, I'll be able to do two splits, and hopefully 3, because 3 would be better, because then I can have higher chances of a queen going out and getting mated and having myself a nice new hive. So I'm not going to be getting into this hive today. I don't need to. It's only been 11 days, and I wait at least 14 days before doing another inspection between inspections, especially since I've gone there and taken resources out, so they need time to build back up. So I'm not going to bother with them, and I'm not going to bother with anybody else, because all these hives, there's nobody living in there. They're all just robbing out the honey and stuff. So that's all we're going to do. Should be a fairly short video, compared to last one anyway, which clocked in at about an hour. And I'm just going to go ahead and set up my camera like I did last time and just dive right into it. One thing is conspicuously missing, and that is my smoker, because generally I'm not super worried about the bees being too aggressive, since they're not going to have any young or anything to be defending in there, since there is no queen. And since I'm not getting into this one over here, I just was lazy and decided meh. So this is one of those do as I say and not as I do instances. But anyway, let's set up the camera over here. And since it is cloudy, I can actually see what I'm doing compared to last time, since it was very bright and sunny last time. Let's see here. Get a nice little angle there. There we go. They can see. All right. Just gonna put on my gloves. And the weather over the past week and a half or so has been pretty nice for the most part. A lot of sunshine, some wind. It's springtime, so it gets windy here in the spring. But generally fairly nice. Not too cold, not too much clouds or rain or any of that stuff. So it's been good bee weather for the most part. Just yesterday was really crummy. Not good bee weather. I've got my nuke box here in case I need to move anybody. Make some space for myself or whatever. Let's pop this open and see what we got. And I do see drones. A lot of bees on this inner cover here. On this side too. So there's a lot of goings on in there. Let's set this here. And as always, try to move slow, methodical to not, and really make an effort to not smash anybody and not to cause too much of a ruckus. Getting in there is ruckus enough. Just gonna quickly see what's going on. So that's what it looks like. And again, this was a split that I made 11 days ago. So I can see there's drones. There's a drone right there walking. There's drones in there. Hopefully it shows up. Looks like it does pretty well. But since I don't have my smoker, they will be a bit more agitated, sort of in my face a little bit. And they might be grumpy because they don't have a queen, but they should have queen cells for sure. Let's find out. So all I'm doing is just taking my tool and I'm going to be just sticking it in between the frames where they touch each other, where they come together, just to sort of break the seal, the propolis and wax and all that stuff. Sometimes they can really get them in there pretty snug, and it can be difficult to pull out the frames. And when it's hard to pull out the frames, there's a higher chance of rolling them and smashing them and all that stuff that you don't want to do. I always tend to use my hive tool to sort of like kind of brush bees out of the way, sort of push them out of the way so I don't smash them. You never know. Sometimes it can just be hard to pull these frames out, no matter what. So here we go. Alright, that wasn't too bad. So, all they've been doing is just sort of working on this frame. This was one of those frames that I took out of the dead out hive. So it's got some capped honey. I can see that they've been filling it with fresh nectar and stuff. So they've been working on that. Now, put that there. Don't do that anymore. definitely not happy with me. They're buzzing around my face and stuff, and just generally acting grumpy. That's probably because I didn't smoke them. There's just another frame where they're putting stuff in it. You're gonna find yourself on camera.
Oh. So what are you finding?
I'm looking for queen cells. I can't remember which frames I put I had the eggs and stuff closer to the center. This frame still has a little bit of brood that need to hatch out. And there's pollen and stuff, so this was a resource frame. Looking for those queen cells. Pretty sure it's these two frames here, if they're in here. And they should be. And it's only been 11 days, and it takes 14 days for a queen to be developed from an egg and hatch. So even if they were using some of the young brood, it could still be cells and not virgins running around. Man, they are not happy with me. There's a cool thing though. You can see right there. See? Two bees hatching out right there. Hope that shows up. Yeah, they are grumpy. Grumpy, grumpy, grumpy. A few years ago, actually, that was, man, when was that? I guess that was closer to 4 or 5 years ago now. Before I had bees of my own, I was tending to a neighbor's hives who lives here in town, much older man, who was my mentor. I was still first learning. He'd been keeping bees for 50 years. He's still around, but because of the quarantine, I haven't been able to see him. But anyway, I didn't know what I was doing, and I had failed to smoke a hive that was much bigger than this, and they got very mad at me, and I ended up getting stung 6 or 7 times up and down my arm. And with the way things are going today, I would not be surprised if I end up with a sting or 2 or more, because they are not happy. Cloudy, cool, they have no queen, so they are not happy bees. The only way it'd be worse is if it was raining. Man. No queen cells. Unless I am very unobservant. But I was expecting to see at least one by now. And I have not seen one yet. I'm wondering if I will. Not even an empty queen cell, I would take that. Oh, finally, there's 2. Jeez, alright. So there are 2. There are 2 queen cells in this entire split. Ooh, there might even be an empty one. That one looks empty. So, that changes things a bit. So it's very possible that there is a virgin queen either in here, probably in here, or so here. All right. So that right there, where my thumb is, that's an empty, hatched out queen cell. So it's possible she's in here. It's also possible she's not. However, on this side, we have this little dinky one, which I'm probably going to smash. There's one there that's capped. There's two here, right there, one right there. And that's it. So there are three nice looking ones. One hatched one. And that's it. And also, unfortunately, this frame is one of the few frames that has foundation on it. So what that means is that I cannot easily just get a knife and just cut these out. If this was a foundationless frame, that's exactly what I do. I just get a knife, cut them out, and then split them up. However, since I do not have a knife, or I mean I don't have foundationless frame here, what I'm going to do is just put it back in and close them up and call it a day, because I cannot be hassled to cut these out with foundation on them. It's going to be a pain in the butt to have to cut around it, get underneath it, and all that stuff. So I'm just not going to do it. Instead, I'll just close them up, and hopefully a new queen will be mated here within the next week, and then she'll come back and start laying eggs within the next couple of weeks. So by, see, today's the 19th, so by early next month we should see eggs in here, and then we'll have a nice new hive. But before I do that, I'm going to double check and make sure, because if this frame has any queen cells, then I can split them up 50-50, and that'd be good. So let's see. No dice. I didn't think so. I was pretty sure this was a resource frame, and it is. So that's not a surprise. That one is also a resource frame. So yeah, that's fine. All I'm going to do then is just close them up. Just leave them with those cells, and hopefully we'll have a queen next time. So what I'm going to do is carefully put these frames back together. As carefully as I can anyway. Oh boy, man alive, these bees are not happy. I know I've said that, I've been saying it this whole time. They are grumpy. really got that queenless feel to them. So you kind of get a feel for it after you've been doing this for a while. Very much a difference between a queen right hive and a queen less hive. The way that they behave, the way that they sound, even sometimes the way that they smell is different. Alright, that's a tight fit. Okay, just gonna take this. They're clustering there for warmth a little bit. So not the most ideal day for bees, but not the worst either. Yesterday would have been way worse. There's no way I would have done this yesterday without smoke. Probably shouldn't have done it today without smoke, but too late now. Okay, that'll do it for today. A little bit of a bust, but not too bad. It would have been a total bust if there had been no queen cells at all. But there were, so I'll take it. It's funny, I've had this queen castle for 3 years, I want to say, maybe 4, and I still haven't used it the way it's been intended to be used. I've never used the little shims to actually do the separations in there. I've had it this whole time, and I just just haven't had a chance to use it yet. Someday. But anyway, that's it for today. I will not be getting into these bees for see, this hive for probably, it's going to be a week at least, maybe 2, because I want to give those queen cells a chance to hatch out, for the queens to go out and go on a mating flight and stuff and come back, and we'll see what it looks like in there after 2 weeks. But and then what I'll do then is, if I don't see any eggs, I'll just take a frame of eggs from this hive and put it in there. But next week I plan on getting into this one, because by then it'll have been 2.5 weeks since the last inspection of that one, and I'm curious to see what they're up to. If I remember right, I put in a completely empty frame with no foundation or anything, so they have to build a whole new frame of foundation, and then some empty-ish frames that are ready for the queen to lay in, so they could quickly rebuild their population. If you don't know the life cycle of bees, the worker bees take 21 days to go from egg to hatch, so 3 weeks. Queens are 14 days from egg to hatch. And I don't remember drones. It's in between. Drones are maybe 16 days or 20 days, or maybe longer. Maybe it's longer. I can't remember now. But anyway, the workers and the queens are really the ones that I care about. So that's the ones that I remember. So 21 days for workers, 14 days for queens. And then after a queen hatches, it takes roughly, give or take, 2 weeks for her to, come out and kill off any of the other queens that she comes across, and then go out on a mating flight, get nice and fat after her mating flight, and then start to lay. So I may actually see eggs in there from a laying queen for 3 or 4 more weeks. And that's normal. That's totally normal. But if I don't see any eggs after 2 weeks, I'm just going to start putting in a frame of eggs every time I do an inspection, just until I start seeing eggs. And if I don't see any eggs after a certain amount of time has passed, then I'll just recombine and try again with grafting. That's what I'm going to be trying next month, is grafting. So that's what the plan is for the next few weeks, for the rest of this month. So see about getting this hive up and running with a laying queen, and then taking resources from this hive here and doing grafting. That's sort of what the plan is for May. And then by the end of May, I will hopefully have 5 new hives. So, and then I'll be busting out my long laying that I built for that purpose. So lots of fun stuff to come this year. Yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you found this useful. I hope it shows that sometimes not everything goes to plan, and it's not a big deal. Just sort of roll with the punches and sort of work with the bees, and just do what they are going for, rather than trying to force them to do what you want them to do. Laziness on my part is definitely a factor in with some of that stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.